They go over this little weak ridge here, through the top of this scree slope, and interestingly enough, you see this line of pea pines that have come back in here. From that point off to the east, that's grass, just like it is today, no trees. They come out into that thick, heavy grass across that slope, all right? Now, can you see a real short, dead stump? It's probably about yay high up here on this hill, below that outcrop of rock there. And I don't know how else to describe it. Can you see the one I'm talking? It's a black stump. Okay. They come across there, and if with your eye, guess what's probably about 100, 125 feet out across that slope. It's all thick grass. That's where Wag stops, pulls out a book of paper matches, and starts flicking those into the grass. And now, here's what's kind of interesting. When you get up here on this side hill and you start looking at where the monuments are, where these bodies fell, where these bodies were recovered. And what that tells you is there's a guy right over here, Stanley Reba. He's way down here. In other words, sometime when he comes across here, he can't go uphill anymore. He starts going downhill. Maybe to escape it, escape the flaming front. Maybe he's just totally tired out. He's one of the older guys. He's 25, and you look at his pictures, he's kind of a heavy set guy. Maybe not in the best of physical condition. And finally drops here. Other guys are out here on this hillside. Up there where the fire, where Dodge has set his escape fire, is Wag himself, Bob Salee, Walt Rumsey, and Bill Hellman. Jim Harrison is behind him. They've already left him. The four horsemen, those guys, McVeigh, Thole, Navon, they've already left this group, and they're headed out this way, below Wag and his escape fire, and way out in front. As I suggested yesterday, at the Board of Inquiry, he's asked, where was the crew when you set that fire? And he says, oh, they were all right around me, but they couldn't hear me because of the roaring fire. The truth of the matter is, and that's what I was telling you yesterday, if that crew was around him and they end up way out here, another quarter of a mile up the gulch, they would have had to have been doing almost 10 miles, running 10 miles an hour across that slope. Doubtful, very, very doubtful to get where they got before they were caught by the fire. But that's where it happens. That's where the escape fire is set right there. These trees that you see on the skyline here, I'm thoroughly convinced owe their existence to the fact that Wag Dodge's escape fire burns the fuel out before the main fire gets to there. And that's how they survive up there. We lost a few in the Merriweather fire in 2007. But when you get up on the ridge, if you're curious, go around and look at the base, at the bole of those trees up there. And take a look at those. Yeah. And so the fire eventually catches these guys. And as I told you yesterday, Bill Hellman runs around this downhill side, or the west side of the escape fire. Salee, Rumsey, and Dietert run up the right side, going straight up to the ridge. And what do they encounter in all that smoke, sweat, confusion, panic? They run into that wall of rock. It doesn't look impenetrable today, but my guess is in the intervening 65 years, there's a lot of that that's rolled downhill. First of all, being cooked by the fire. Second of all, just freeze thaw that, break down rocks all the time. And there were a lot of years have passed since that. But at any rate, Salee, Rumsey, and Dietert hit that rock that rock wall, that outcrop, and they turned, Sally and Rumsey turned to the west trying to find a hole in that to come through, and finally find something, squeeze up through there, go up. Dietert runs along that way until he's caught, about another 200 feet, until he's caught by the flames. The rest of these guys are dropped one by one out here across the hillside. The four horsemen are way out here, and you follow the trail. Like I say, it's a good quarter of a mile that they made it. And you take a look at Henry Thole, where they recovered Henry Thole's body, and see how painfully close he is to the top of that ridge. But he doesn't, he doesn't make it. Nor do, of course, nor do any of them. One thing to keep in mind when you're going out there looking at the monuments and all that is that where the monuments are located are where the bodies were recovered. And it's probably safe to say that given the slope up there, the steepness of the slope, and that some of those guys were probably still churning as best they could when they were hit by that superheated hot air, and then eventually the flames, that they fell and the body may well have rolled. They were all going away, but some of them were getting sucked down the slope, and you can appreciate that once you get up there and see there's a marker over here, there's a monument here, there's a monument down here, there's a monument. Okay. If there are no further questions at this point, what I'm going to suggest is let's go back down off the hill, get on the trail, and follow the trail up. And these series of paths will take you to all 13 monuments, but remembering that Bill Hellman is over on the other side of the gulch and a little harder to find.